Hey there, it's Elena Bear, and I have not been sick for the past 11 weeks, but I am sick again, and yay for pregnancy, lowered immune system. I have not made an update video in forever, so I'll just start out by saying everything is great, everything is fine, baby is doing great. It's hard for me to prioritize making a video when there's the house is in absolute shambles and there's so much to do all the time. But since I'm sick again, it's easier for me to just sit around and make a video. So I would like to go over how weeks 10 through 20 of my pregnancy have gone. I'm currently 20 weeks and 4 days, so still a couple more days in my, week 20 or whatever, but I figured I would just cover that anyway. I think in my last video I was 9 weeks and a couple days, and I was saying that the nausea had subsided quite a bit those first couple of days, like 9 weeks and 1 day or 9 weeks and 2 days. Like, I was feeling pretty good. And I was really optimistic that it would stay that way, but unfortunately it did not. The nausea kind of eased up for a couple days, and then it came back, getting worse and worse each day. I was so fatigued. Oh, let me just say, as with any pregnancy update video, this may have some gross stuff, some TMI that you don't want to hear, so if you're not into hearing about what goes down during pregnancy, then maybe you don't want to keep watching. But anyway, my acne started getting really bad around 9 weeks. A lot of fatigue, but also insomnia. I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand, I think, too. And it was such a bummer that the nausea came back and got even worse than it had been, because I was so excited for it to be gone. Still had sore nipples, especially with nursing a toddler while being pregnant. Oh my gosh, it's so painful. At 10 weeks, the nausea was really bad, and I was just really fed up, and I finally called the doctor and asked for medicine. Well, the medicine they gave me helped with the nausea. I think I took like 1.5 pills before I realized that it was causing like terrible constipation. That was really weird and just like so painful, like just stomach pains and stuff. So the medicine helped the nausea, but I feel like the stomach pains and the constipation was actually in a way worse. So I stopped taking that medicine. Still fatigued, still sore nipples, still terrible acne. Then the following week at 11 weeks, the nausea actually, praise the Lord, faded away. It wasn't overnight, but it decreased pretty quickly over a few days, and somewhere in the middle of 11 weeks pregnant, I felt okay again. Still sore nipples, still bad acne, super, super, super fatigued. Okay, at 12 weeks, things got a little bit scary because I started spotting, and it was pink and brown. It wasn't bright red. And so I had an ultrasound. Everything looked totally normal. They had no clue why I was spotting. I had some cramps, so that was pretty scary. And it's also weird at 12 weeks to have that kind of stuff. Like, usually if people experience that, it might be way earlier, and it's like implantation bleeding. I think I did have some spotting around like 5 or 6 weeks, and they were like, oh, that's just implantation bleeding. Don't worry about it. At 13 weeks, I had more spotting that was like a lot and like almost red. So I went in for an appointment, and I actually had a pelvic exam so they could check my cervix. Again, absolutely no problems, no reason for the spotting. Everything looked totally normal and great, and They were able to hear baby's heartbeat on the Doppler and everything. So it's basically, in conclusion, it's like a really weird fluke thing. They told me some women just randomly have spotting during their pregnancies, which sucks because it's kind of alarming, but there's nothing wrong, so there's nothing to be worried about. Oh, I got terrible nosebleeds at 13 weeks. I got several, like, really intense, like, gushing nosebleeds. And that was something the midwife told me as well, that, like, around that time period, 12, 13 weeks, my body's just, I don't know how she said it, I'm going to say this wrong, but like basically there's just more blood. There's just more blood pumping everywhere, and so if I have sensitive skin or sensitive anything, like I'm just more likely to just bleed. Weird and gross. Bad acne, headaches started at 13 weeks. I got some headaches, but like taking just like one Tylenol would take the edge off. I know some women get like terrible migraine, so it wasn't that bad. Some energy was starting to come back, and I started like majorly nesting and just wanting to clean and prepare things and like dig out old baby things and start looking at stuff online for baby. At 14 weeks, some headaches again, started to have some cravings, started to have an appetite, really like eating more. No nosebleeds and no spotting at 14 weeks, which was great. And I started feeling like just the very slightest little flutters. And I think it's just because I've been pregnant before and I kind of like knew what to look for and everything. I felt things that I knew were not just my body, not just gas or whatever. So that was really, really exciting. I was able to hear baby's heartbeat at home on my Doppler for the first time. I had a super tilted uterus, so I wasn't able to find baby's heartbeat until, I don't know, I guess it was 14 weeks was the first time I was able to hear baby at home, which really sucks. Like I would have liked to hear baby's heartbeat. Like so many women hear it at like 9 or 10 weeks, you know, at home on their Doppler, and I couldn't, and so that really was annoying. But finally we were able to hear it, and that was so amazing. More energy, majorly nesting. Let's see. So I had some insomnia that week. Okay, 15 weeks. I was still feeling pretty energetic and, you know, pretty happy in general. My mood was generally happy. Occasional headaches, nothing too horrible. Sore nipples, of course. Increase in appetite. Occasional insomnia. And I was feeling some obvious kicks here and there, which was fun. Not every day, but like every 2 or 3 days I would feel a couple kicks. Generally feeling great at 15 weeks. 16 weeks, I had a lot of round ligament pain. So anytime I would get up or move a weird way, I would get that like stabbing pain from my round ligaments stretching. Some bloating, super sore nipples. I shouldn't even keep saying that. Basically, like this entire pregnancy, I've had sore nipples. So that just covers all of it so far. Okay. I was energetic at the beginning of the week, but then towards the end of 16 weeks was kind of feeling some fatigue and then some insomnia again. I guess around this point, you know, I would say kind of my whole pregnancy so far, I've had more stomach issues this time around than with Kaya. Every few days I have a super upset stomach for some unknown reason, like I'm not eating anything weird that would tend to cause my stomach to be upset. It just seems so random. At 17 weeks, I started feeling kind of anxious out of the blue. What I find during those times where I get this like sudden like flare up of anxiety, what I need to do that helps me is really zero in and focus on my relationship with God, spend a lot more time praying, spend a lot more time reading scriptures, and reading like Christian books. Like I have one that I've read so many times that I just love, that's called Calm My Anxious Heart. Staying off of social media a little bit more. Like I usually take at least 1 to 2 days off every week from social media, but in a time where I'm feeling super anxious, it helps to try to pull back even more, because for some reason just going on social media a lot just kind of amps up my anxiety. Sorry, this is like a total tangent. I just figure like there's got to be somebody out there that gets anxious too, so these things might help. Long story short, I did a lot of those things that I listed out. I'm feeling much better mentally, obviously not physically. Feel terrible physically, but I'm feeling a lot better mentally because I really reconnected with the Lord, and that to me always does the trick. So, okay, where are we? 17 weeks pregnant, feeling lots of kicks. By 17 weeks, I had gained 10 pounds. How crazy is that? And then here's the craziest part. I'm 20 weeks and I haven't gained weight since then, which like, that's when I'm supposed to start gaining more weight. But I gained a ton of weight and then it just like totally slowed down and plateaued. I don't know. I don't know what my body's doing. But the baby's great. 18 weeks now. Fatigued, occasional headaches, occasional insomnia, and stomach issues. As my stomach was getting bigger, by 18 weeks I was like getting pretty big, and it was harder to bend over or stand up quickly or anything like that. Feeling out of breath more easily, just generally uncomfortable. I made a note that it's like I almost felt like I was in my 3rd trimester already, just feeling big, you know. Feeling kicks every day at this point, which is, with Kaya, I was almost 23 weeks before I felt even one kick, which was so hard. That was just miserable. Because everyone online and all these mom groups is like, I'm 15 weeks and I'm feeling baby every day, you know. So for like 2 months I was seeing all these moms online talking about feeling kicks, and I felt nothing. And I did have an anterior placenta with Kaya, so that explains why. But anyway, so it's been so great feeling the baby move. This is another weird stomach thing, this pregnancy, that I didn't have with Kaya. The last couple weeks I've started getting like painful, I think it's gas, like stomach pains, not cramps, but like stomach, you know, digestion pain. But it doesn't matter what I eat, how fast I eat, drinking water. Like I've read all these things online. I've noticed if I take a chewable gas medicine thing, which is supposedly safe for pregnancy, then it totally goes away. So it's not like a major complaint, but it's weird. I didn't have that with Kaya. 19 weeks pregnant, tons of fatigue, occasional insomnia, stomach issues, gas pains. And then at 19 weeks, generally a lot of the week I was just feeling kind of sad and down off and on. I think when I'm fatigued and I can't do much and I can't go out, that just bums me out. Like I like to, you know, have the ability to do things and take Kaya out and everything. So when I'm feeling fatigued, then I generally also start to feel a little sad. At 20 weeks, so now, where I am now, super sick with a cold. This is my 3rd cold since getting pregnant. It's because I take Kaya to these places and she plays with little kids, and so she gets their germs, she gets sick, and then she passes it to me, and so like that explains how that's been happening, but it's really annoying. Still fatigued, and I mean, I have fatigue and headaches, but a lot of that is because of the cold. Again, occasional insomnia, so that's like, you know, when your nose is all stuffed up and you're coughing, it's hard to sleep. So I again don't know if that has to do with pregnancy, but I had my anatomy scan a couple days ago, which is like, I feel like I've been waiting forever for this scan. We did the sneak peek test when I was 9 weeks along to determine if baby is a boy or a girl. Generally, people say if the result says girl, you can believe it, and it's usually really accurate. If the result you get says boy, there's a little bit more of a chance that that could be wrong. So our results said boy. And so we're like excited, but at the same time we're like, is it really a boy? So from 9 weeks to 20 weeks, we've been like, we're not totally sure. I've always felt like this was a boy. I don't know, I just had a feeling that this was a boy. But we've been waiting forever for this ultrasound, and so we finally had it the other day. And how much suspense can I throw into this? It was confirmed it is a boy. So our second baby is a boy. We're excited. I'm a little nervous just because I feel like I don't know what to do with a boy. Like, you know, we're gonna have to get different clothes and things like that. But yeah, so now we know for sure it's a boy. We can start going crazy with preparing everything and thinking about names and all that. Okay, that's all I have so far. So I thought there wouldn't be that much to talk about these past 10 weeks, but actually that was a ton. So long video once again, big surprise. Okay, I will show my belly now. Okay, so here is my baby tummy, as Kaya calls it. This is kind of a baggy sweater, so it's a little bit hard to see, but yeah, pretty big for 20 weeks, but everything is healthy and good, so I'm really grateful for that. Okay, I'm sure I'll think of plenty of other things to say as soon as I turn this off. But I've already said enough. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.